All right, folks, this one should be pretty quick before Christmas break. I just wanted to jump in here and go over a couple of things about our latest video release. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I'll be sure to leave a link down below. So, here is the deal. That video has been doing quite well. Last time that I checked, it had pulled in about 42,000 views, gathering about 2,700 likes against 200 dislikes, which works out to be about 92% positive engagement, and it held an average view duration around 8 minutes, which is quite a bit higher than my typical retention rate. So, with all that attention, it certainly stirred up a lot of interesting questions, and yes, even some criticism. And you know what? I'm good with all of that. And for starters, let me just say thank you for watching the video and sharing your opinion, regardless if we're gonna agree or not. So, without wasting another second, let's dig in. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to address and do my best to be humble is admit that even though I didn't see it right away, some of the folks who felt that the initial video setting up the poll had some issues in the way that I worded it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll cut to that video right now and we can kind of go from there. That's it. Super simple. And folks, A is always A, and B is always B across all 5 tracks. So the criticism was that the poll right out of the gate was polluted, and I created a bias for listeners in how I worded the experiment. I understand why you feel that way. I get it, and I'm going to admit that I could have done a better job in that delivery. I am very careful with how I say things, and in no way did I intend to create a bias or skew the results in some kind of a favorable way. I knew that I had one question to ask. Can you hear a difference with these 5 examples? And 2 options to pick from with those 5 songs. So if you do some quick math, me saying that A is always A and B is always B is actually self-evident. There was no way for A to be sometimes B and vice versa, or the entire poll would have been a complete waste of everyone's time. The last thing that I wanted to do was create paranoia, distraction, or unnecessary second guessing. The whole point I was aiming for was to let you guys relax, simply listen, trust your gut, and vote with confidence. Anyhow, I can and do understand why some folks felt that this was a biased way to set up the poll, and I'm going to do a better job the next time that I do something like this, thinking it very carefully through and just cleaning up the way that I word things, doing my best to eliminate any kind of a bias altogether. So, there you go. See? I'm a reasonable guy. When I make a mistake, I acknowledge it, and I will try to do better. I'll course correct. So, that's that. The second thing that I want to address, and this is a big one, was this a sales pitch? Because it certainly looked like one. So, if you don't know this already, the same day that I released my video revealing the UberBUSS, Danny released his video talking about the UberBUSS and offering it for sale on his site. This definitely looked suspicious, and no, for the record, I don't think anyone out there is stupid, and I am allergic to the idea of gaslighting, so again, I'm gonna admit that wasn't a great look for me or Danny. Now, this is not a reaction to save face, try to persuade folks one way or another. It is simply the truth. You can take it however you want. This is the honest truth. As most of you guys know, Danny started his YouTube adventures on my channel, and I have always edited his videos since he started on YouTube. This is not a secret, and I've made this public for as long as it's been happening. Now, with the UberBUSS video, which is labeled MVI_9974, as you can see from this screenshot, the metadata shows it was created in early October. Yes, I've had this video in my hands since then. when Danny gave it to me, I already had this poll and video concept in my head, and I knew it was going to take some time to get it all done. Danny asked me a million times about releasing his video, and it was me that dragged my feet because making these sound clips took way longer than I expected. So, here's the truth. After a lot of conversations about his video and the fact that he mentions my sound clips in his video,
and I'm going to bet you that when Ron and I do sound clips, you'll be able to hear it in the sound clips. I can't wait for us to shoot them.
We both felt that releasing the video before mine could lead to bias or pollute what I was trying to do. So I was thinking about bias and polluting results the entire time, regardless of my slip up in the way that I worded that initial poll. I care about these things. I try to think these things through, so hindsight is 20/20, and we decided to just release it all on the same day. So again, trying to be humble here and take the criticism. I get it, I know how it looked, and I totally understand the criticism about it. So, thank you. And just to reiterate, again, I do not, and I have never made any money from JR Research products, and yes, that is the truth. All right, so last criticism before we move this in a more positive direction. For the love of all things holy, will I please stop using AI? And that wasn't science at all, Ron. And Ron, you're an idiot. And nothing that you did was science at all. Listen, while no one actually said those exact words, I think that sums up the overall gist of it. Look, I did everything in my power to create an interesting, entertaining, and informative video that did include a long-winded story about AI. What I had hoped to achieve in that venture was this. Clearly, AI is not the gold standard for debunking much of anything based on everything that I've learned since using it. There are a number of issues with inconsistency, hallucinations, and more. Not for 1 second do I think it's the gospel, and no, I don't think anything AI related in that video proved beyond a reasonable doubt that power cords and conditioners make a difference. However, what I do think is this. It's another tool that is evolving faster than any technology out there. The fact that I can level match sound clips with it still blows my mind, and even if it's not perfect, the fact that it did seem to verbalize many of the same traits that I heard from the listening chair gives me hope that one day it very well might be the gold standard tool that anyone can use if they want. Sure, AI is scary for some folks, and I get that. I even used to feel the same way, but it's here. It's not going away, and it's going to continue to evolve. But that was not the point of my video. I didn't want to position AI as the flag that I'm slamming in the ground to ward off the naysayers. No, not at all. What I was trying to do was offer up some well-recorded sound clips that might offer up some answers on whether or not things that we think that we hear, even if it's snake oil, are truly audible. And look, even with my admission on wording that initial poll, I personally feel it would be intellectually dishonest to ignore the 72% swing. Even more, when I asked in the latest poll regarding a preference between A and B, it was B, the UberBUSS, that took the lead and not by a small margin either. All right, so with some house cleaning topics out of the way, let's pivot to what I really want to talk about. Recording those 5 songs was a labor of love, and it took a month until I was happy with the results. And I gotta say, it bummed me out that I could only share short clips of my hard work with you guys, but I'm gonna do 2 things for the fans out there. Number 1, I'm going to take a minute and explain the why behind the recording a little bit more, and I'm going to release the full clips before Christmas for you guys to hear on my channel. I would imagine the folks who are anxiously waiting for this speaker right here, Alley, to be released, this might brighten their day and also give a chance to toss on some headphones and listen to how these speakers sound in my shed with a pair of double treble subwoofers laying down the foundation. Next, I want to tackle the why behind this project and share some details that didn't quite make it to the UberBUSS video. So, when Danny initially brought over the UberBUSS, I was playing my DOD audio preamp, which is battery powered, into the Burson audio timekeepers. I was using the stock power cords for the amps, and the very first thing that we did was we just simply tried the UberBUSS with the stock cables. Now, for me, listening in the room, the difference was not subtle, especially when it comes to bass, dynamics, impact, and yes, even the texture of bass. I remember that we played Where There Is Smoke by Dominique Fils-Aimé, and when that deep bass hit, it sounded more realistic, it sounded more dynamic, and it was easier to appreciate the detail in the texture of the hit itself. Next, we swapped the stock power cords, and everything that I just said seemed to level up all over again. Even the overall soundstage of the entire performance sounded wider and deeper. For lack of a better word, it sounded more open. When we switched to Missing Piece by Peter F. Eglis, man, let me tell you guys something. I have heard this track a million times. That had to be the best that I have ever heard that song in this shed. And again, I didn't think any of this was subtle at all. Folks, this is what moved me, inspired me, motivated me to roll up my sleeves and bust out the mics. I was indeed on a mission to try and capture this, and while I'm not totally happy with my results because I'm a perfectionist, I do think this is the best that I've done so far. Ironically, the first round of recordings, I tried my typical sound clips with just a pair of my Earthworks mics and playing back both of the systems, one with the stock cords, then one with the UberBUSS and the upgraded cords, and guess what? I couldn't hear a difference at all between those sound clips. None. Zero difference. And yes, I did feed those clips to ChatGPT, and guess what? It couldn't find any differences either. Think about that for a second. Now, knowing what we know about the clips that came after, isn't that interesting? I mean, what if, and I'm asking humbly here, folks, what if a lot of this stuff is truly heard in the room? What if it can't be heard in a closed mic setup where we're only going to catch texture and tone from the speaker? Anyway, I set up the main mics again, but I also set up another pair of mics in the back of the shed. They were up high, and their job was just to catch late arrivals and top-end extension. And I don't mind sharing this, they were recorded after the closed mics, which means I had to sync them up in post, and I also had to take into account the distance from the front mics to the rear mics and create a delay in post so it sounded more realistic. This is all nerdy studio stuff that I love, so I won't bore you with all of the details, but I even set up another pair in the listening position and another pair up front, catching the reflection from the front wall, since we were using Alley, which most of you guys know, has that rear firing wideband driver in the back. Anyway, a lot of careful planning went into this project, and my overall objective was to try and capture the room. So yeah, this all points back to my first experience with the UberBUSS, which in turn points back to the differences that I hear in DACs, amps, speakers, and so many other devices that we love to tinker with and listen to. I am certain that decay, structure, spatial cues, and soundstage all matter, and matter a lot. I am convinced that having speakers well out on the dance floor allows me to catch those differences, and I'm certain that having all of these microphones set up in these sound clips was the closest that I have ever been to truly tying all of this together for you guys. So folks, there we have it. Some house cleaning topics and a little explanation of the why behind the sound clips. I hope this was interesting, and if it was, remember to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. As for the 5 songs, I will be releasing all of those on my channel over the next week, and since I'll be in Arizona after that for Christmas break, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas right now, and I will see you NRD loving audiophiles sometime in the next year.